Welcome to the TaleSpire for GM mini-series, and in this one we're going to be having a look at the modes that you use in the kind of general flow of gameplay. So we're going to put building aside for a second, although that does come up a lot, and we're going to look at a few things. The first one we're going to look at is cutscene mode. This is a lovely tool as a GM. So you can see I've already got a couple of cutscenes here. I'm going to get rid of those. What it allows you to do as a GM is you can find some places that you like the look of, and save a few of these shots. And then what you can do is, well, you can use these to navigate between them, but that's only affecting your view. What's more important is when you click the eye, because what this does is it forces all of the players to be seeing this exact thing. And because they're in cutscene mode, they're not able to interact with any of the creatures they normally control. So they cannot interact with anything, and you have control of their view. This is fantastic for again, taking a respite, for doing a bit of focused storytelling. You can set up a few characters and have shots to cut between them. It's a nice dramatic tool. It's also quite good when people are rolling dice too much. And we haven't really talked about dice much, so let's go and do that now. I'm going to jump back to exploration mode. When you change these modes up here, it affects the mode for all players. So when you change it, everyone else's does as well. Dice. We were promised dice. We've been ignoring this for the whole series, so let's bring some up now. We can click any number of dice, and it creates this little UI. And then when we're happy with what we got, we can left click and hold and drag on the UI, and it turns into the dice we requested. And then we can roll them. When the roll is complete, you will see the summary of the roll, and you can also see it in the session history. You can take more dice and you can mix them together. That is not a problem. And when you grab a certain group, it'll only pick up the original group, so they know which ones they were originally with. As a GM, it's easy to remove things just by right-clicking and say remove. A player can remove the dice that they rolled, but as a GM, you also have the option to perform a full dice clear, which you will find yourself needing a lot. Okay, with those two out of the way, let's look at the turn-based mode, traditionally used for combat, which is why this combat mode text comes up, even though really it's called turn-based mode now. To set this up, we have this black bar, and you click on the creatures that you want to take part, and then you click on this green button. Anytime you want to change the lineup, you can click on the gear, and you can right-click on creatures to remove them, or left-click on them to add them again. And now we're in turn-based mode, and this is really important because what happens, like with the cutscene mode, it offers you a level of control over your players. A player can only interact with the creature that's currently in the center here, the current creature, and they can only do it obviously if they control that. So it allows you to schedule turns for people. When it's not their turn, they cannot interact with anything. So this is how we lock that down, including dice rolls, which is very useful. All right, so and that's basically it. At this point, as a GM, you're able to hover over and see on the tile who's selected and things like this. But the battle will proceed. Obviously, if something dies, say if we have Korgoth here and he attacks this slime, and then we decide, okay, you're dead. We kill this, it's removed from the list, and because he was the only other thing in there, the battle mode is essentially over, and we can switch back to exploration mode. Okay, thank you so much for watching this little series, this little intro to what we have so far in TaleSpire. We have a long way to go, and as even in this video series you've seen, there are bugs, but we are going to be working on these diligently. We're just super happy to get something out to you at last, and so you can start breaking it too. Thanks for stopping by. Please send us pictures of the stuff you make, because it's really cool to be able to see that. Have a good time. Peace.